Now, perhaps the world's wokest comic, although there's a lot of competition for that prize, Trevor Noah, host of America's The Daily Show, has doubled down on these shocking and baseless claims last week of a massive racist backlash in the UK against Rishi Sunak becoming PM.
Watching the story of Rishi Sunak becoming England's first Prime Minister of colour, of Indian descent, of all of these things, and then seeing the backlash is one of the more telling it's just one of the more telling things about how people view the role that they or their people have played in history. And what I mean by that is this. You hear a lot of the people saying, oh, they're taking over. You know, now the Indians are going to take over Great Britain, and what's next, and what? And I always find myself going, so what?
Not content with race-baiting millions of viewers via the show, Noah continued to spread the myth of Britain as an island of bigots on Twitter, where, of course, nothing spouted from the Be Kind left is subjected to any form of robust scrutiny. So he claimed, I wasn't saying the entire UK is racist. I was responding to the racists who don't want Rishi as PM because of his race. That's why I said some people. So I assume by some people he means the likes of Labour MP Nadia Whittome, who declared that Rishi Sunak as PM is not a win for Asian representation. I mean, that says it all about hypocrisy on the left when it comes to issues of race. The likes of Trevor Noah are the only ones who see colour, and the Labour Party actually don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to diversity, having never had a female or ethnic minority leader in its entire history. They have, however, been condemned for rampant anti-Semitism by the European Court of Human Rights under the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn. But to try and unpick why the left are blind to their own prejudice and can't accept the right in this country as the diverse force it now is, I'm joined by the author of the landmark report exonerating Britain of institutional racism, Dr. Tony, and soon-to-be Lord, Sewell. Great to have you here, Dr. Tony Sewell. Congratulations, by the way. But tell me, I was so shocked by Trevor Noah's outburst because it's so influential, it goes around the world, and actually, Lord Sewell, unless I'm missing something, the reaction to Rishi Sunak becoming the first Prime Minister of ethnic Asian origin in the UK was overwhelmingly positive.
Yes, it was not only positive, but there was a kind of, well, who cares? Let's get on with the business because we've got to deal with the issue of the cost of living crisis. And what I found that was really encouraging was the whole idea that we just took this in our stride. It was just another day at the office. And I think that that's really where we are with this. And I think that's the big difference. I mean, we really are getting very close to Martin Luther King's notion of judging people by the content of their character. And that's really where it should be. And I think that one of the problems we have here is America. America is obsessed with race. It can't really get itself out of the guilt of its slavery and its segregation. And so everything is seen through that lens.
I think you're completely right about that, absolutely. But what I find so shocking, Dr. Sewell, is that if you share the Martin Luther King Jr. vision, which is always what I've personally lived by, many on the left will now say that you're being racist because you're not being anti-racist.
Yeah, I think that what they've missed, and it comes up in the report that we did, was the complexities around really race disparity and what's behind it. Yes, we do have these people who are in these top positions, you know what? I think that particularly this particular Conservative Party, in a way, has gone a step further. Not only have you got people in positions of power, they actually have a report and actually have also taken on the recommendations of that report in this Inclusive Britain to look at the reasons behind those disparities. As I've shared with you before, the complexities of geography, of the fact that white people are actually a race as well, and we've got to look at that. We've got to look at the whole idea of class. And so it's more complex than just white and black.
Well, of course it is.
And that's that's the strength of the two things.
Absolutely. And clearly, there needs to be discussion in this country about the working classes being underrepresented in politics. I agree with that. But I think what I found so offensive is that the likes of Noah had seemingly taken one caller to the left-wing radio station LBC, one caller, and tried to present that as a backlash. And to me, Dr. Sewell, that's so irresponsible because it really does down what we are as Brits, and I think what your report proved.
Yeah, and it does show, and I think I feel vindicated today, really, that I said in that report that we're a more open society than we were 30 years ago. And it's the trajectory we're talking about. And I think what he's still seeing Britain is this place that it was maybe in the 1960s or wherever he's got that perception of. And I think that that's wrong. So I think that you're right. That's really where we should be with this. We should be looking at going forward with this. We're a more open society. And I'm really pleased that a party that really was looked at as maybe the kind of the sort of bastion of racism is now the showcase of diversity. And that's really the key here. And it should be something that we should be celebrating, not worrying about. And we can show America a way forward with this. And I think that's the way we should be dealing with this. So, you know, I'm always optimistic about the future, but at the same time, I don't deny the reality of racism, the reality that this thing exists. And we've got to fight that. It persists, it's institutional, but at the same time, we've got to go forward and look at the fact that Britain has changed and it's open. And these new people, they're not just there opening the doors, they're actually leading the thing. You can't argue with that. It's so difficult. And that's really what I think the left are finding difficult.
Yeah, of course they are, because it's the Tory party that's making the change, the Tory party based on meritocracy. But look, I think your report absolutely has been vindicated. That was former chair of the Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities, Dr. Tony Sewell. Thank you so much.